Hi everyone, it's Rita. I just did a channeling on this black piece of tourmaline. I looked at it. Hopefully it's not too morose. Like it was like, the energy going into the black tourmaline was very grounding for me. And I could feel it. I felt like I was a little monotone, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if I want to, maybe I won't post it, but I think I will, And so anyway, I've opened up the Akashic Records of these peacock feathers. And Rebecca Dawson, who I adore, did I'm in a monthly thing with them. And so they did a channeling a couple nights ago. And she mentioned the peacock feather, and the peacock, and they were kind of describing the peacock as how strong it is, and I've always been drawn to it as thinking of it as positive. And it was kind of interesting because I have a friend that's mother felt that you should never have peacock feathers in the house, that it was very negative. So it was kind of fascinating to do some research on peacock feathers. And there was Celtic lore and stuff that they were not good. And it was related to this eye, what was it anyway, omen, and they associated it with children dying and all this stuff, right? And so it's so interesting to have to understand how our beliefs really come in. And because we live in a world governed by the law of attraction, it's so much different than assertion, right? So the whole idea that you would have a peacock feather in your house and you would think, oh, it's an omen. Well, of course, if you're focusing on that, it will be, right? You will attract something like that because you're focusing on something negative. So anyway, be very present with these things. And if that's how you feel about the peacock feather, then I wouldn't have it in your house, right? But they were kind of mentioning how the peacock is a very strong presence, and they would have in the royal families and in these big courts, there would always be peacocks present because they would fan themselves out and just be like royalty. And they would, they're very grounded. They don't fly. They're just in this observant place. And that was sort of the message of this channeling, was how important it is for us to kind of be in the moment, because that's the only place that we create from is in the moment. And you often hear, if you're thinking of the past, you can feel sad. If you're thinking of the future, you can feel anxious. But this is the moment. The moment is all we have for creation, right? So, I'm hearing the peacock feathers sort of saying, however you're going to perceive me, be very present with that. But it's almost like this sense too, there I'm hearing this sort of whimsical but silky sort of lightness. There's also a lightness about the peacock. And I'm also hearing they're saying some peacocks do fly. So I think that's maybe I misunderstood the channeling the other night. So, but for the most part, we have a presence of them opening up all these beautiful feathers, right? I don't know if I want to open these up anymore. So it's kind of cool. They're really beautiful. I don't know if you can tell or see them. So what else do we need to know? Or what would you like to share with us? I'm hearing that think of them as abundant. And that whole idea, there's no cards hidden. You know, like when people like you have cards and you just open the cards up. So that's sort of that sense too. It's just like owning that royalness and regalness and just expanding and being authentic, you know. So that's fun. And so they were reminding me about one of the things the masters had shared was this whole sense of color and energy and vibration. And so there's a sense too about the beautiful uniqueness of the colors that are here, which are frequency and vibration. So that's kind of cool. And they want me to mention the film that I've been working, this documentary, that there's colors and stuff in that. And so that's kind of fun, how they, you'll see some of that. And I don't know a lot about all that. It was fun to see. There's a lot of surprises in this film that we're working on the edits and stuff right now. So I mentioned in the tourmaline share that I was going to, I've got a friend who sits down and does levels of intention. Esther Hicks, who channels Abraham, talks about that she does that as well. So she sits down and in the morning writes out different intentions about her day. And I've got a friend who does that and walks with Jesus and invites Jesus in to walk and be with her throughout the day. So there's all sorts of ways that we can manifest things in our lives by inviting in these energies that we feel really close to, that feel powerful to us. And so depending on where you are right now, that could be kind of a beautiful way of intention setting on your day. There's another, sometimes I like to say, ask my angels to surprise and delight me. And that's always cool. That's a cool level of intention. I've been doing Joe Dispenza's meditations. He's got a bunch of ones that he tweaked this year because they're taking people into gamma states of consciousness. And I just really enjoy them. And I enjoy all the beautiful stories associated with them, with health stuff and, you know, abundance stuff and relationship stuff, just all these beautiful manifestations. So go to what you're drawn to. These are just things that came into my space and I decided to explore them and I felt really good about them. Let's see. Just the whole idea of that's a level of intention, you know, of trying to focus on something that feels good to you. You'll just to invite more and more of that as you focus there. So go to the things that feel good. You know, I'm being encouraged to have more fun. I can get really buried in my projects and sometimes it's hard to have fun when I got other stuff going on, you know, so that I want to get done. And tomorrow's not promised, right? So the more you can focus on doing the stuff that feels really good to you. I also know that's how the things that you wanted to accomplish in this lifetime come forward for you. So I guess just be really present on the planet right now. There's a lot of people choosing to leave. And remember that these choices to leave here are on an energetic level. We've all made those decisions about when we're leaving and how we're leaving. And just be really, we don't live in a world governed by law of assertion. It's all attraction based. So, you know, the presence of living in the moment, being in the moment, making decisions from the moment, viewing the moment, viewing our environment, just everything happens from that place. We're eternal beings. We do not ever cease to exist. Will we ever truly understand that before we check out of this body? No, we're not going to. Can we get to a place where we feel more ownership in our present moment? I think so, you know, and I think remember, that's the space to create from. So every present moment, that you can be present in your moment of the things you want to be experiencing, and look towards those and look at those people in your lives as being happy and just enjoying their lives, and all that energy is just like very reciprocal. And I think that's the space that we really need to own as we use the eye or whatever, and we visualize all these things and we see them the way we would love to experience them. I think that's the best ever. So anyway, blessings and love to you. Take care.